knew I was like a big lad as well, but I didn't realise till now how big I actually was.
Obviously, it's probably gone back a long time now, so it's probably actually hard to like pinpoint that feeling. But how like did you feel before you started working with yourself? Like what were you feeling like at that time? Where were you at?
Before it, I probably didn't feel as bad as I was in reality because I think it was just the normal to me back then. So I was just going right along with my days, just eating what I wanted, moving a little bit, but not really. And then my mate was just like, try this out. And obviously I checked you out and it would just went from there and like not looked back since.
But I think like what you said, you made a good point. Like you probably didn't realize sort of like how you were feeling if you were low energy or like you felt
Yeah.
not as good in yourself because that was just the norm. Would you say like what you were doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I was
completely
like,
understandable.
I knew I was like a big lad as well, but I didn't realise till now how big I actually was.
Yeah. No, I
And
think
how like
it's
nothing was going forward. Like it was just static.
yeah, like you say, it was just probably naturally going backwards like over the years and probably like that slower decline, not like a rapid sort of decline, just a slower decline that you sort of never really realize it like over a period of time, would you say?
Yeah, probably. Because like I was never like an unspotted child either. Like I'd always been moving to that, and like I think just as I said, just slowly you get older, you get less time to do stuff naturally, and it's just happened from there.
Yeah, and I suppose like that's one of the things with yourself, like with like different shifts and work sometimes being a little bit unpredictable as well. Like
Hmm.
sometimes like yeah, you maybe actually didn't have time in the day. If you had like a shit shift where you'd finish at a random time, you'd have to be sleep through the day and then back in at a random time. So like time sometimes wasn't on your side, but we actually you didn't even have that mindset where you were making an excuse all the time. In the end, it was you were getting stuff
Yeah.
done regardless. So what would you say was like your biggest overall win? Like we know you lost 40 kilos, like obviously that's a massive win, but what would you say is your biggest overall win or like the biggest things that you've noticed within yourself or the biggest changes?
Just being able to move freely again, being confident in like don't have to put a hoodie on all the time, so you can just get out and like just like the running size route, for instance. I wouldn't have been
Yeah.
able to do like 5K or longer runs this time last year. Like I remember doing 3K. I was knackered by the end of it. Like I was dead.
Yeah, yeah. But again, like, and like you say, you've just been gradual progression with the run as well. But say, for example, when you were 40 kilo heavier, you wouldn't, it was harder. It was more of a challenge to walk, never mind run a 5K. So that's obviously the consistent progression. And that's where you're still pushing towards, like, consistently getting PBs and still improving performance, which is good. But say, for example, like the 40 kilo loss as well, like, did that feel like achieving that goal? Like, what did you feel like was different day to day, like the weight you were carrying about, like potentially the energy that you had.
I don't necessarily realize the weight that's gone. I feel more energy, yeah, but I don't feel like the weight that's gone until like say I'm in the gym and like I put a weight on. I'm like I can't imagine walking around all day with this on my back.
Yeah,
I think that's when you realize the difference.
sure. I think even when you lost 20 kilo, I was like on the check-in one time, I was like, go in the gym and like pick 20 kilo up now, pick 25 kilo up. And
Yeah,
like you say, because maybe like per week it was like 1 kilo, 1.5 kilo, like naturally as that sort of progression, then we were like progressing with steps and we were progressing with the gym and cardio and stuff. So your body and your fitness was aligning with the weight that you were losing. What do you feel like the program gave you that you needed at the time that you maybe never had or wouldn't have allowed you to get into the position that you're in today?
discipline, accountability, the two main things. Like I had to hold myself accountable for what I'm doing each day, and then I knew if I did have a bad day, which is fine to have a bad day, which I learned as well from this. Like not every day is going to be perfect. You were there to support if I needed it.
Accountability comes both sides as well. Like I can hold you accountable, or like I can see that you've had a bad day, but I think what you got good at, or like what you understood the coaching relationship where it was like, yeah, I've had a shit day, I've done this X, Y, Z, and that's probably allowed you to move forward and have the confidence to do stuff by yourself. Leave when the time was right, when you feel like right, I need to give this a go by myself. And again, I can hold you accountable to things, but for the majority of your journey, it was more so just supporting you and being like, this is class, this is what we need to do now, these are the changes that we're making because you made that coaching relationship so easy. But for example, if you weren't doing what we were asking, you weren't getting your steps in, you weren't tracking the nutrition, that's when I'd challenge you more or had to would have probably had a different relationship within that as well. Like obviously within that, like what's some of the things that you've maybe heard people say to you? Like have people been surprised of how well you've done? Like what's like your family and stuff said?
Like a lot, I've been surprised and like just saying how like much better I look. Like a lot in like skinnier in the face and that, and just like just well, skinnier in general. Like yeah, I know there's still something there, but there's a lot gone than what was there. And like my stepdad probably mainly like he reminds me a lot is like I truthfully you didn't see me like doing anything this time last year. He just thought I was just going to get bigger and bigger. Like he never said it to me, but this is what he thought. And now well, he always said how jealous he is now. I'm like,
Class
is what it
stuff.
is.
That's serious. Like you
Yeah,
say, like he maybe never said anything, but like his attitude was always just sort of like, yeah, you'll just be the same like in a year's time or whatever. So prove the doubter wrong. Like essentially, like
yeah.
running like the 5K PB and stuff, like you say, it's maybe going to inspire him to take some action or whatever or do something good for you. What would you say to someone who was potentially sat in the same position as you, where it's like, no, I need to make a change, I know I need to do something, but like you're an hour and you're 50-50. What would you say to that person, like after being in the program and working with myself and achieving a life changing result like you?
Just go for it because there's no point sitting thinking because nothing's going to get better sitting thinking. Like at first, I'll be truthful. At first, I jumped in and I put the big effort in to start with, not for myself. It was more, I think, because I paid the money. Truthfully, I thought I've kind of got to do this, otherwise it's just a waste. And then I'm thinking now the money's just a side thought. It's doing it for myself. I'm getting better each day, and I think everyone that'll go on this journey will get better each day because they're not going to make a backward step.
Love that, and I think I like the way you sort of spoke about the money as well because I've done it many times. I've invested in something or like I've bought something and straight away you're thinking, oh, fucking bought that. So you buy a t-shirt and you think, right, I'm gonna have to wear that. I want to get my wear out of that. And
Yeah,
then like 3 months down the line, you just wear that t-shirt because you've got that t-shirt sort of thing. But like you say, it's like for that first initial investment, you're like, oh, fuck, I've just invested in this, so I've got to do it. Like I actually have to do it because I'm paying for it. But like you said, over time, when you see the results and you see the progress that you're making, it's not even about the money; it's about the journey that you're essentially on. So, Lee, what would you describe the relationship that we had between us?
yeah. I think we've had a good relationship personally. I think each week, obviously, check in on a Tuesday, but then there's plenty more touch points in the week if I needed it, less if I don't need it. But like I know any time of day, if like I'm struggling, I can just reach out, ask a question, and just make sure everything's clear at all points. Like nothing was ever like blurry what was going on. We always knew what the next step was in the path.
Man. And we knew what fucking horses we were backing at Cheltenham as well.
Yeah,
But again, like that's sort of how like the relationship does progress. Like obviously we've still got that boundary where it's like, right, this is the goal, this is what we're working towards, but to have the opportunity to talk to someone and like just discuss other things that isn't necessarily about the goal, it's also nice as well. And I ask them, like, I don't want to just talk about steps, fucking nutrition and this and this and this, blah blah blah.
yeah,
It's nice to be able to speak about something else because you've got hobbies, you've got interests, and they all line up to be exactly the same as what I like as well. So absolutely ideal. And I think that's the thing people probably don't understand when like they maybe see, like say for example, they see me online or whatever, think, oh, you just love training, blah blah blah. But like you've got to know like fucking like everything that you basically like as well, right?
yeah, pretty much.
Class, class brother. No, mate, I respect that massively. Like.